Alright, so for this problem, I think I have the way to solve it, but I'm not entirely sure. This problem may take a good minute. So I see an inverse cosine, right? And I see an algebraic function. I have a feeling here I'm going to use integration by parts. So let's do that. I'm going to make my u cosine inverse x and dv 1 minus 3x squared. We know from derivatives that the derivative of cosine inverse is negative 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared. When I integrate this, I'm going to get x minus 3x cubed over 3, which is minus x cubed. So now I'm going to have x minus x cubed cos inverse x from 0 to 1 minus the integral from 0 to 1 of, and really that's going to become a positive, right? Because minus, and here's a minus right here, this minus here. So this really becomes plus the integral x minus x cubed over square root 1 minus x squared dx. Okay, let's evaluate this first. So this becomes 1 minus 1. Well, that first thing is just going to be 0. And then I can do the second thing, which is also going to be 0, right? Because 1 minus 1 cubed, well, that's just simply going to be 0. And then 0 minus, so this whole thing just is literally 0. So now really all we're worried about is the integral from 0 to 1 of x minus x cubed over the square root of 1 minus x squared dx. Notice I can factor out an x. And look at how nice this is. Now I have similar terms with different powers. And now I can use same base, different exponent, and I rewrite this integral from 0 to 1 of x square root 1 minus x squared dx. And now I can use u sub. U equals 1 minus x squared. Du dx equals negative 2x, and dx equals du over negative 2x. Notice that I'm going to bring a negative 1/2 out in front. This becomes the integral from 1 to 0 of the square root of u du. Notice I'm going to change my bounds because I always want lower on the bottom. And to do that, I have to make a negative. So this 1/2 integral 0 to 1 root u du, which is u to the 1/2 du. Now this is 1/2. And now when I integrate u to the 1/2, that's going to be 2/3 square root u cubed from 0 to 1. And that's 1/2 times 2/3 minus 0. And that's simply going to be equal to 1/3. So 1/3 should be our answer here. And this is a really clever problem with this term evaluating a 0 here. So I found that sort of interesting. And there may be another way to do this problem, but I think integration by parts, IBP, is going to be the easiest for this problem.